Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. We'll go ahead and open up to questions from our media. Clay, why don't you start us off?
Patrick, what's this like for you? How much pride do you feel being invited to this camp? And do you prioritize the national team over MLS? How do you balance kind of the two and making sure you're giving the same effort?
Yeah, first and foremost, it's an absolute honor. It's a dream, to get called into camps like this and just to represent the country and wear the badge across your chest. It's something you dream about as a kid. So to be able to do it, it's a true honor. And I step out there every day and put the gear on, and just brings a smile to my face. Getting to do what I loved and grow up watching. So yeah, it's been a really cool experience so far, and hopefully to just keep learning and growing over the next 2 days. But then how to handle it. I kind of just take it where I'm at. I don't prioritize anything.
Yeah.
Obviously, I got to give 11 months out of the year to Columbus, and the club I'm at. But then when you get these breaks to step away and to play for your national team, it's kind of take a deep dive and just jump right into the deep end and just fully embrace the national team and for the two weeks, 10 days, however long it is that you're here. So yeah, you got to find a little bit of a balance, but it goes by fast here. So you just got to kind of jump into the deep end and just embrace it all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Clay. Let's go to Pat.
Hey, Pat, thanks for doing this. How long did the MLS Cup celebrations last? Because it seemed last we talked to you, you didn't have a voice. You're still having a good time. So how long did that go?
Yeah, it went for a good while. I had a vacation the week right after with a lot of my college friends. So what college kids do. So we had our fun. But obviously while I was on vacation, I kind of looked at my calendar and I was like, wow, I leave here in 2 weeks, so I got to figure something out. So I had my celebrations, but at the same time was doing the work in the morning so I could party at night with them.
Good. What's it been like kind of getting back into it so quickly? We were talking with Aiden about you have an even shorter off season than the rest of your teammates. What are the pros and cons maybe of starting a little bit earlier with the national team?
One, that just get the rust off right away. For me, it was not that I had a lot. It was really easy to kind of transition fitness wise, and not touching the ball was for I think it was like 2 weeks was interesting. Like when I kind of came back in, because I hadn't experienced that in forever. So that part, but it kind of just was like riding a bike. It picked up very easily, and kind of just looking forward to when we get back with with the team. It's we've been training with the team and in a team setting for the last 2 weeks, and doing fitness, doing lifts, and so it feels like we're just in the middle of a season again. That can be a good thing and a bad thing, as the season goes on. But right now, it's looking at when we leave for Port St. Lucie. I'm just excited because I've been training with a team and in a team environment, and I'm just ready to get back and to start the new season and just kind of embrace the new guys that that are there, and just to play in Wilfred's system again.
Not to say one is better or worse, but what has it been like working with Gregg's staff, maybe as opposed to what you guys do in Columbus with Wilfred and that group?
I'd say it's pretty similar, honestly. They're very hands-on, wanting to improve, and obviously tactics and stuff are different here than with Wilfred. But it's all kind of the same identity. When they want to get after it, they want to keep the ball. So I think it's very similar. But at the same time, it's just different tactics, different philosophies. So you kind of have to adapt to both.
Have you when you're sitting around with other guys, does the fact that you guys won MLS Cup come up at all, just in conversation? I mean, I feel like that's a point of pride for you guys right now.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. I'm good friends with a lot of these guys just from previous camps, and Duncan McGuire, because we were at lunch today, and Sean, Aiden, and I were leaving with Duncan, and he was like, "Oh, you guys got media, MLS Cup champs. Like, I don't got any media." So just like kind of jokes like that, definitely come up. But yeah, it's I don't know it's an honor to have that title behind us for now. But it's 2024 now. We got to go win it again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Brianna, go ahead.
Hello, thank you for taking the time. I first want to ask, you were kind of talking about how you kind of went from the MLS Cup to vacation to getting back into it. So has the fatigue hit you at all? It sounds like you've just been going. Has any fatigue, and how do you make sure that you don't overwork yourself and tire yourself out?
Yeah, fatigue hasn't really hit me. I am a guy that I will say I'm kind of a homebody. So doing a lot of traveling is like I kind of just like being in my space a little bit at times. So definitely this off season after my vacation, I got offered to go somewhere for New Year's, and I was like, I'm not leaving, guys. Like I just want to sit back and relax finally before because I know January and February are going to be traveling a bunch. So, but no, I don't think fatigue will set in. I'm a very structured guy. I like having a schedule and having things to follow and look forward to. And with the off season, you kind of lose that a little bit because practice times might be different depending on weather and snow, and just kind of having a structured routine is what I'm really looking forward to, or I look forward to with kind of starting everything back up.
And now something else I want to ask is, what have you learned through these weeks, a few days and weeks in camp, and what have you learned specifically from the goalies you've been working with?
Yeah, I think honestly, just different movements throughout the goal, to just how each guy carries himself and different techniques that they do, that maybe I can implement them into my game. So kind of just taking little things off each person is my goal, and just honestly just being here, it's the highest level. It's some of the top guys in the MLS, and so just kind of the speed of play and everything is what I've adapted to, and just it's a new group. It's different than the guys in Columbus that you train with for 11 months. So just trying to pick up information off everybody that you can.
And last thing I want to ask you is, obviously it was a goal making this roster. Now, what's the next goal when it comes to U.S. soccer and playing for the country?
Yeah, obviously, you want to make every camp kind of going forward with the national team. If that's U23s, if that's senior team, whatever it is. Yeah, I just kind of want to continue to be called into camps. The ultimate goal obviously is to represent your country at a World Cup, but if I can do the Olympics as well, I'd be a true honor as well to be represent the U.S. at the Olympics and be called an Olympian. It's a dream come true that you grow up watching. So honestly, just trying to make every camp, and they showed a path of the next 2.5 years, I think it is, of all the camps and all the games that that are going to be played, and just trying to be along that path and make every camp that is possible is my goal.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brianna. Tom, go ahead.
Hi, Patrick. I want to ask you talked about the Olympics there. Well, this is a national team camp. There are pretty strong Olympic overtones to this camp with the young guys and with the Olympic team coach there. How present is that in the day in, day out of this camp, the Olympic team?
It's not really that present, honestly. The first day, they kind of showed the roadmap of the next 2.5 years for U.S. soccer, and different competitions, different camps, different games that are scheduled. So it was talked about there, but honestly, it's more about just learning Gregg's system and learning how all we can play together and the tactics, and just kind of honestly focusing on the game coming up for Sunday or Saturday. I mean, so it hasn't really been talked about much, but I think a lot of guys here know that's in the picture and that's in play for some of us. But it's honestly just trying to put your best showing out there to ultimately get picked for either future.
I'm going to ask if the MLS Cup celebration, you were able to bring it back to St. Louis.
Yeah, it came back to St. Louis for a day or two. Before I went on my trip, I had they surprised me. My mom and my brother threw like a surprise party for me for my friends and family that couldn't make it up to Columbus. So when I got home, yeah, there were some people at the house, and we definitely had some fun.
Thank you, sir.
Great. Thank you, Tom.